You're everyone. I'm Wally, and the rest of the listeners are Brennan, and we're roasting chips. Yes.
Hello.
What's up, Spotify? Welcome back to another amazing podcast.
Fuck everyone who
like
uses Apple.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Apple, Spotify.
Oh, great. We just ousted myself.
I shook my entire laptop when I was doing that because I was trying to click something on the keyboard and it's like so wobbly right now the way I have it like propped up here. But happy 2022.
Yeah, first episode of 2022.
Podcasters, we need some name for our fan base now. I feel like we've been going for like 2 full calendar years. We need like a name for our fan base. The Chip Roasters.
I mean, that's the most
good enough of a name.
I mean, it makes the most sense.
Chip roasting, yeah.
We could call them the roasted chips because they could be the chips we're roasting with our knowledge.
Interesting.
That's awful.
It's perfect.
We should just call them the cult.
Beautiful.
The cult of chip roasting.
The Colts, yes.
Colts. No, yes. No, I got it. They're
What's up, Colts?
They're the 40th century scholars.
The 40th century scholars, yes.
And only the people who've listened to every episode would understand that.
What is up, 40th century scholars? 40th century scholars. Blah, blah, blah,
it's a hard thing to say.
Yeah.
40th century.
What's up, 40th century scholars? Welcome back to this amazing podcast. Brennan and Wally. Perfect. I'm just gonna mumble the entire rest of this podcast here now.
Just gonna mumble. It's not gonna understand a word you're saying when we recap the Book of Bobba Fett.
Mm-hmm. What an amazing way to kick off 2022 with an incomprehensible podcast.
It'd be funny if I'm just sitting here like yelling into the mic and you're just like way too far. Like that you take your headphone out and throw it across the room and start talking as quietly as possible.
Yeah.
Just enough to where we can hear you.
You'll be like, "There's the news, Brennan. I know it's a lot of intense news. So what did you think about that?" I'll just be like,
"That's great, Brennan. Oh man, I agree. That's so hard. Oh, that's so good." The obnoxious YouTuber voice.
Absolutely.
Oh. Anyway, so
news.
We have
straight
news,
into things.
Probably.
I hope so.
Actually, yeah. Jesus, we have a lot more news than I expected. Anyway.
Oh,
it's really? Just a lot of writing.
Oh, okay.
As of 12/27/21, which is, I guess, a while ago now.
Spiderman last year. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Spider-Man: No Way Home had surpassed $1 billion worldwide.
Nice.
Which is that's in a panini. Sorry, a hamdemic. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill was really good in that movie.
Yeah, I mean, even I have not earned $1 billion yet. So I mean, for Spider-Man to do it, that's just
this is the episode.
Crazy. Yes.
This is the episode that gets us the $1 billion we deserve.
Mm-hmm.
We've worked so hard for.
Yes.
Next up, lots of more speculation as we do on as the show. We speculate. We talk about speculation.
I don't think I've speculated once.
We in the very first episode we said we weren't going to speculate, and here we are.
Oh yeah,
but
I've stuck to that.
Speculations have started about the character of Ghost Rider recently. The Walking Dead's Norman Reedus has liked many tweets urging Kevin Feige to cast him as Ghost Rider. What does this mean? Nothing, but it's fun to think about Ghost Rider in the MCU. They almost did. They almost had Ghost Rider in the MCU when they made a bunch of Hulu shows, and then only one of them ever came out.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but no one else did. So, not like it would have worked anyway. What do you want Ghost Rider in the MCU, or is it like meh?
You're probably like, if Marvel keeps expanding, then we probably 100% will receive Ghost Rider in the MCU at some point. So I don't think it's a question of if. I do think it's a question of just when, especially because, like, there was the Ghost Rider movies that existed, and then there was Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I really like the Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really think that was a neat thing.
He was the one who was supposed to come back for the Hulu show.
Oh yeah,
he was supposed to come back for the Hulu show, but they just never made the show.
So I feel like how popular Ghost Rider is as a character, he will get included at some point here. I had heard a rumor. This was a while back, like I think 2019, maybe.
Well, a while back.
So not all that long ago, like in the grand scheme of things, but also like 3 years ago now.
This is
so,
like pre-chip roasting.
Yeah, this was
The podcast, not the actual action.
This was pre Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill has only existed for the length of this podcast.
Yes. But it was a rumor that they were going to bring in a version of Ghost Rider and a version of the Punisher where they were the same character.
Okay.
And I thought that was that would be an interesting take. Apparently there was a comic book that had that, and there was like a rumor that they were going to plan to adapt that into the MCU, which I think would be really interesting, because those are two very gritty but popular characters. I know that Marvel likes popular but doesn't like gritty. So if they can do one gritty character instead of two, that might work for them.
Yeah.
But I just having Ghost Rider would be neat to get to see Ghost Rider's story explored. Although I don't think it's super important they do it anytime soon, because we have a million shows already on the docket with a million characters.
Yeah.
So you will have to see.
Retroactual has reported that the director of Shang-Chi, who is also going to be the director of the sequel, I believe, wants Jackie Chan to be in the sequel. A lot of people were speculating they wanted him to be the bad guy, which would be interesting. But I don't know. I feel like that makes sense to have Jackie Chan in the martial arts area of the MCU.
Yeah,
it's definitely something. Word on the street is Moon Knight is slotted for February. Brennan, tell us more.
I really want this to be true. I've seen a lot of rumors. Like I saw one where it was like, oh yeah, it's basically confirmed that not only will Moon Knight be released in February, but a Moon Knight trailer will be dropping this week. However, I heard that last week and the verbiage was exactly the same. So no trailer yet. So that rumor may not have the credibility I'd like it to have.
Right. Well,
but like there's still hope. There's still time. I really think, especially with Doctor Strange being shoved back and all the movies being shoved back.
Yeah.
Like the reason that they did WandaVision so much earlier than they had planned was because the movies got shoved back. So the very same thing might be happening right now, because WandaVision we weren't supposed to get until right now, basically. Like WandaVision was originally supposed to be airing right now, and we got it like a year prior.
Right.
So, they'd push back Miss Marvel and all that. Maybe they bumped up plans for Moon Knight to relatively soon.
Right. Well, we all know what's going to happen, right? And it's that we're going to record this podcast tonight. It's Monday. I'm not gonna edit it tonight, and then I'm gonna edit it tomorrow, and we're gonna have the trailer at tomorrow at lunch,
11 a.m. Eastern time. They're going to drop
that's exactly what's gonna happen.
Absolutely will.
And people are gonna be listening to this on Wednesday morning. They're like, "Hey, they already dropped the trailer. What are you guys talking about?" Oh, it's Monday.
This isn't speculation. I'm not speculating. I'm just speculating now.
This isn't speculation. I'm just speculating. Predicting
that we will get the Moon Knight trailer tomorrow, because that's just our luck. We're gonna say it hasn't dropped, and before this podcast is out, it will have dropped. So
in the time it takes me to edit it, and the time between we're recording right now and the time to where I upload it tomorrow at 8:00, which, by the way, this is going to start going up at 8:00 on Tuesdays. We're going to get the trailer. How it's gonna. It's working. It's done that before. We have had that happen before.
Even if Wally was to stop the podcast right now, edit this and put it up on like all the platforms immediately, Marvel would have somehow decided to just release the trailer like Monday evening. It's just an oddball time for no reason. I promise. It's just our luck.
right, well, that was a great podcast, guys. We're gonna
Yeah.
maybe that
Yeah,
tricked Marvel. Maybe Marvel heard me say that, and they're like, "Oh shit, put it up, put it up, put it up."
yeah. The name of this podcast is just no Moon Knight trailer, all caps. It's like the 5-minute podcast episode, and that's all. It's to rush to get it out as quickly as possible, I am excited to see Moon Knight portrayed by Mark Hamill, though.
Me too. Well, Moon Knight portraying his co-star, who's also portrayed by Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
God, what is his name? Of course, I forgot his name right now. Poe Dameron.
Who are we talking about?
I can't remember his name.
Oscar
as Moon
Isaac.
Knight. Yes, that's right. Oh God, I forgot the first guy's name. Mark Hamill. We betraying. Oh God, I forgot his name again.
Oscar Isaac.
Mark Hamill will be playing Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight. That took way too long to get to.
Yes.
I have the memory of a 3-week-old squirrel.
And
anyway,
all this will be, and all of that will take place in the new Marvel show. What's it called? I forgot the name of the show.
Moon Knight.
You know, anyway, I had to do it.
Yeah, I know. You had to do it. You had to do it to me. Mm-hmm. Speaking of delays,
more delays.
Morbius was delayed a little bit.
Morbius delays.
Yep. It was again.
That was
apparently, this is it was not a good one. This is the 7th time it's been delayed.
The 7th?
Yeah. Are you even excited for this movie? Are you even in anticipation for it? I couldn't care less about this movie.
I kind of was, and like, I kind of am, just to see what universe it takes place in.
That's true.
Like, we know more information about that now, but still don't know exactly, because there was Spider-Man graffiti and all that in the trailer, and up to right now, there hasn't been a Spider-Man in Venom's universe, except for when he jumped universes at the end of Venom 2, right? I still haven't watched Venom 2. Planning to do that this week, probably.
Yeah, I think is it on anything? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I have access to it because someone's account that I'm borrowing. I mean, my account, for any government agencies out there listening. It is purchased on my account. So I am going to watch it soon.
Cool. According to Variety, Andrew Garfield admitted that he and Tobey Maguire stuck into a theater on opening night of No Way Home and watched the movie. He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, I snuck in and just watched it with my baseball cap and mask on, and no one knew. I thought that was cool. And then there was a picture of them taking a picture with a fan afterwards, which was also kind of cool.
Oh, yeah? Sweet.
Yeah. So I'm glad they got to be able to do that, and like Andrew Garfield's talking about it again. Like he's able to finally talk about it now, and he's had all these interviews since, and he seems so happy to be back, even just for a little bit of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think of the speculation or not? I guess just the request of Marvel or Sony to do an Amazing Spider-Man 3.
Oh,
there's been a lot of that.
I'm one of the few people who like really loved Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. Like I like those 2 movies.
Yeah. I
don't know why. Maybe just because I love Spider-Man, except I don't like the new ones. Anyway, I do like Spider-Man, obviously, like No Way Home, but
okay.
I really liked it. I would love if he came back for a 3rd one, Sweet. And I apparently what's his name? The guy who directed Spider-Man 1, 2, and Sam Raimi said he would love to come back for a 4th. Because he's working on Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. So I would not be opposed to more Spider-Man movies, as long as we get like other Spider people as well at some point too. Because I know there's a Spider-Woman movie in the making. But
interesting. But yeah, because I have seen the calls for Spider-Man 4 as well, starring Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I don't think that movie is as needed because I can't remember all of the events, but I think the trilogy was wrapped up pretty well. All things considered, there weren't a lot of like outstanding plot beats.
No, I don't think so.
But with Amazing Spider-Man, obviously, 2 ended on a couple notes of like, I would kind of like to see how this gets resolved here in terms of characters and all that. I like looking back, I did not like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason why is just everyone other than Andrew Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I was like, oh, I just don't like his Spider-Man or whatever. But I really think I do like his Spider-Man a lot. Like looking back at like all the things I didn't like about the movies, Andrew Garfield is not a part of that at all. Like I really did like his banter with everyone, his character development, how he was in the suit.
Mm-hmm.
Just he was great. But a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the other surrounding aspects I wasn't necessarily as fond of. Like
Right.
the villains, I didn't really like how any of the villains were designed, how any of them looked.
Oh,
But if Marvel and Sony, with what they've done now, can go back and do Amazing Spider-Man 3 again, I really think that they could do it very well. Take all the best parts of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, like the character that
mm-hmm.
everyone really likes, and like expand that into how all of the other characters are
if
as
they
well.
could, if they could get whoever wrote No Way Home, or at least someone close to them, to write Andrew Garfield, because I think they did a really good job of writing his Spider-Man in No Way Home. If they could take him, if they could take that writer and have them write the third movie, I think they do really well. And I'm with you there with the designs. One of my favorite villains in Marvel is Rhino, and it has been since I was little. Like I even had like a little Rhino action figure.
Yeah.
I hated the way he looked. I hated the big stupid mechanical suits.
Yeah. Yeah.
It makes more realistic sense, but I still hate it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, it was designs like that for a lot of the characters were just kind of like, well,
like sometimes it makes sense.
maybe.
Like with like the Vulture, that makes sense. Like you can't, you're not gonna turn someone into a Vulture, but like the Rhino, I don't know. You can put a little bit more effort into it than just a giant mechanical Rhino suit. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
but
because but with all that said, I do think Spider-Man 4 could be interesting if they do it with Tobey Maguire. Because like, although I think all the threads are wrapped up rather nicely, someone did point out online that in the comic books there are a lot of really cool arcs that feature Spider-Man as an adult instead of like a teenager or college student and all that. So those would be neat to explore because that's kind of the only opportunity to really explore all of those. But like I'm not sure how needed that is in like the films.
Well, most of like Peter Parker's arc, like he was only in like high school and college for like a very small amount of time in the comics. Like he's mostly been an adult. But what I think they could do with Spider-Man 4 is that they could introduce Miles Morales.
Ooh.
Use Tobey Maguire's Peter as
that would be really
the Peter that dies, and kind of roll in that direction a little bit. I think that'd be a way they could do that.
Wow.
And introduce Miles Morales.
The only potential issue with that is like if they do any Spider-Man crossovers in the future, it's like, do you use that live action Miles Morales or do you take the Miles Morales from into the Spider-Verse?
Right. No, I mean, yeah, you could do either. You could do both. I mean, realistically, you could do both of them.
Yeah.
No, that's a good point. But I'm just saying, if they wanted to do that, they could definitely do it that way.
Because I guess it wouldn't necessarily be an issue to have multiple Miles Moraleses because we already have multiple Peter Parkers.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Well, I mean, how many Peter Parkers are there in the Spider-Verse too? So I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot.
Exactly. The new Batman trailer came out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but
the Batman was a movie I was really looking forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of looking forward to it a lot less now.
Did you see
just
the suit
for this? Yeah.
I figured you would.
I saw the suit. I figured really you would like the Riddler. The Riddler is my favorite Batman villain of all time. I hate his new look. I hate it. I hate it. Just like you want to have someone dark and serious, choose a different character other than the Riddler. The Riddler should be this like stupid, funny guy.
Yeah.
And I think just and I get that it's not necessarily bad because like this might draw more mainstream attention to the Riddler, and like I don't want to say oh there can't be other versions because this is fine honestly. Like I honestly don't mind this iteration. People will probably like this a lot more than the classic Riddler if I had to guess. Probably be a lot more popular just everybody across the table. but I just really don't like the idea of like a really dark take on the Riddler. I've always liked him for just his just insane, like, what are you doing telling riddles, giving away
Right.
all your crimes with riddles? It's so stupid. I love this character and the outfits and the, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's just fun. And having him be turned this like dark, like, what is that jacket and mask and like
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like I'll still give it a chance. I'll watch it at some point, but I'm not planning on paying like, you know, $8 or $15 how much it costs to go see it in theaters,
Mhm.
unless it's like really good. I
Mhm.
was, but I'm not now.
Right. Yeah. I heard someone talk, or I think it was Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok was talking about it. And like, there's like, for some reason, there's like this only this gritty perception of Batman now because of, the Michael Keaton movies and then the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
They've made this like really gritty version of Batman, which is fine. And like, and he can be.
Yeah.
But, that misses out on someone like the original Riddler, who's like this weird little funny guy who, like you said, gives away his crimes using riddles. Like,
exactly. And like one of the things I was really excited for about this movie is because, we've had so much of like the dark, like, I'm gonna fight you and stuff, like Batman. And this movie was like, oh, we're gonna focus more on like the detective aspect of Batman. Like Batman in the comics is referred to as the world's greatest detective because of his like mind. And I would love to have seen that explored more. Like that, and the Riddler is perfect. Like turn it into like a detective movie with Batman. I would love that. I would eat that up because we have, again, so many other adaptations of Batman. It's like we don't need like another dark, gritty Batman. So all that talk I was excited for, and then seeing the trailer, seeing what we got, seeing the Riddler, it's like, I don't think this is going to be as, detective focused as it claimed.
Yeah. And you can get away with doing the Riddler and still have some of that grit there.
Yeah.
But you don't have to take away, you don't have to add grit to the Riddler in order to keep it that way, I mean, you could like not catch him or whatever, have that happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with you. I think I might still go see the movie just because the experience would be cool. It's not gonna be nearly as awesome as No Way Home, but
yeah,
it'll be something.
And like, if I had more interest in DC movies and stuff, I would probably go and watch in theaters as well. But just because like I'm not really as into DC, I was willing to go see it when I thought it was more like of my taste, what I didn't mind based on the promotion material around it, like early on. But now after seeing it, I'm like, yeah, not as much looking forward to this. I mean, the only movie in DC I think I am looking forward to this coming year is Flash.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which actually, that's our next piece of news. So that's a good transition there, Brennan.
Right.
Grace Randolph, a film critic who tweeted recently that Ben Affleck's final appearance as Batman will be in The Flash. She also said that this will mark the new DC, and it's basically the reboot of the DCEU. She says, and this is verbatim, "This is the new DC. Let's be fair and open-minded." For the record, last year, the director of the Flash movie pretty much said the same thing, but what the hell is that word that I wrote? Most accurately described that it will canonize a multiverse, which is what a lot of people expect anyways. So apparently people were just flipping out about it, but
which is that's what I speculated as well, that like with how scattered DC had become, that the Flash movie would be the perfect opportunity to go and like reset everything. So I'm at least glad they're taking that up on the opportunity. I know there are a lot of people who are excited for the Snyderverse and all that. We know that the Snyderverse is over now. Like as soon as the Flash movie comes out, it's going to end the Snyderverse, which like it kind of sucks because after the Snyder cut of Justice League, like I was one of the people who didn't care if the Snyder cut was released or not. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. But I honestly really liked Zack Snyder's Justice League a lot, and would really like to see the direction it continues on with. but the way that it, you know, the way that they created the Snyderverse was so bad. There was really no way for it to survive. So if it had to end a flashpoint, or just, you know, the Flash doing some weird stuff in time, is the perfect way to undo all of that. And it's good that it is being undone, because if you saw just Zack Snyder's Justice League, I actually don't remember if you watched it or not.
I have not seen it now, which I don't care if you spoil it, but
okay, go ahead. Yeah. Like in Zack Snyder's version of like the Justice League or whatever, like in the future, even after the events of Justice League, like the world is like kind of destroyed in the future by Darkseid or whatever, and it's like Batman left with this ragtag group, but like everybody dies in like horrible ways. So like that would have been neat to see on screen, just like the story, but also for the characters. I'm glad that is no longer going to happen to all of them. Right. I don't want everyone to die. So again, the Flash movie is the perfect way of doing that. I really hope, because I've seen a lot of people really upset because it's like, oh, you know, instead of Batman, like the next canon pieces like is Batgirl instead of Superman, it's Supergirl, and people are like, oh, they're making it like woke or politically correct or whatever, and I'm like,
the same shit they're going on about with Star Wars.
Yeah, that drives me crazy. I'm like, just give it a chance. Just, you can't say it's bad inherently, because there are different characters being used. Like, I mean, we've had really bad versions of like Batman and Superman, for example, and like excellent versions of all these other characters. You can't say, oh, just because they're not doing Batman, it's bad.
Well, and as someone who's like not too into DC, I'm glad. Like, I'm so like, I like the movies that I kind of like the movies that they had. I want them to choose different characters for once, you know, because like we keep getting, like, how many Batman series have we had since we've been alive? Like
I would expect DC fans to be excited about it just because of the variety
characters, right? Like I'm actually quite excited for the Batgirl show or movie. I don't know if it's a show or a movie, but I'm excited for it because it's a character we've not really seen in live action before, and if we have, it's been a long time. I think there might have been a Barbara Gordon in the '90s Batman. I don't know,
but never as the star.
Right? Exactly. And you know, just. I mean, and they're doing this a lot more in the CW shows. They're exploring other characters. I mean, like, might not be well. They might not be exploring them well, but they're doing it, you know.
Yeah, and with the CW, it's more of like out of desperation for the most part, because they've run through so much stuff. But like, I would really think that they should be excited about all of this. Like, I just can't, like, especially with how poor DC has done a lot of things with like the big heroes. It's like, I don't understand why you want more of this anyway. Like, not everything can be how you specifically want it. Be excited that there's more content for you to explore, especially if like you don't like I get if you were like, oh, I know this will be bad, but you can't know it. Any knowledge you think you have is just based on you not liking women, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah, basically, they're just sexist, they're racist, you know.
Like there's no way for me to really get around that. I was trying to, you know, find some other. It's like
it's that like simple.
Women. Yeah. Sure. So sorry.
No, you're good. I'm excited where the I am actually excited to see where the DCEU goes, and after all these misses that they had along the way, and then to have a hit like the Suicide Squad, I would be happy about the direction in which everything's going, because I think it's going in a good direction, especially, and I think the Batman series looks good. I think like it's gonna be a good movie, you know.
Sweet.
So I don't know. They're just, I would think they would want to have what Marvel has, you know, all the DC fans. You want such a big universe. We got 20 some odd movies, like 5 series going. Whatever. Yeah. You'll never please people, I guess.
No.
Next up, Entertainment Weekly has announced that Michael Keaton will be joining the cast of Batgirl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Michael Keaton's just milking Batman for as long as he can.
Yeah.
So I guess that takes place in that universe.
Sure. Why not?
There we go. DC, they're not changing, I guess. They're changing, but only a little bit.
Mhm.
Well, they did say it was gonna be multiverse. So, and I think the last two are Star Wars. Yes, according to
Oh
that
well,
what?
hold on. Before we move into Star Wars, there's one more piece of DC news that I saw that maybe you haven't seen yet. Well, I guess news is probably a generous term, but it's just the Peacemaker series is starting on HBO Max soon.
Oh, cool.
Like in like
This
a
week,
week.
maybe. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like next week.
Do you want to do whatever's of that show, or do
No.
you want to just maybe at the end recap?
Yeah,
it or
perhaps at the end.
something?
Like I'm not sure if like I'll be interested in it because like I like
forgot
the
that show was
Peacemaker character in the Suicide Squad, but only as like only with his interactions to other people in that series. Like I don't like the character himself, just like how he
Right.
interacted with everybody else. I don't think I'll like a show with only him,
Mhm.
but like I might give it a chance, but like only after it's been out for a bit, once people's like reviews are in. If everyone's like, oh yeah, this is phenomenal, it's just like the Suicide Squad, then
Mhm.
maybe. But like how it stands now, I probably won't watch it.
That's fair. I forgot it was happening. Even though I see like the commercials on sometimes, like I move downstairs with my family, and they'd just be watching TV. It's like Peacemaker. I'm like, yeah, that's right. That's a thing.
It's that guy. So Star Wars time.
Okay, so Star Wars. According to that hashtag show, which is this is speculation, I guess. They claim to have an exclusive story about Emilia Clarke reprising her role as Kira in a brand new Disney Plus show. She was in Solo. Han's
was
girlfriend.
Like the the one who
original girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh wait, was she the one who worked for
Darth Maul?
Or was that
Yes.
okay? Yeah,
that's Emilia Clarke. Yeah, she's her Kira has made her way in the comics. Right now, I think she's the star character in Crimson Reign.
Oh,
and
cool.
she was also in the War of the Bounty Hunters series, which I have on my shelf ready to read at some point in time.
Sweet,
but
sweet.
So she's been like Kevin Scott, who's been writing all these stories. He's got like huge plans for her character, Kira, and to have a Disney Plus show would be cool, especially if it's like between episodes 3 and 4, and we get to see some more Darth Maul during his time with the underground crime rings. I think that'd be fun.
Speaking of Darth Maul, do we have any more knowledge of when Kenobi is supposed to be out at all?
Nope.
Wow.
I was hoping for Kenobi. Wait, what is this? Oh no, this is video game related. The Bespin Bulletin, a Star Wars insider website, has put out an article stating that the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order is set for fall 2022 release, and Knights of the Old Republic is slated for 2023.
Nice.
Yeah, you still need to watch the cinematics from Fallen Order.
I heard that they're making a prequel to Fallen Order. It's called Falling Order. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That was all made up. It takes place during the Order 66.
Yeah, just ignore all of that. Everything that comes in my mouth is lies.
That's all the news I got.
Cool.
We got a good 30 minutes out of that. So
I've seen other news, but like all of it is just speculation of who will appear in the multiverse of madness. So I don't want to spoil anything in case it's true. The one thing where like I believe there's a 0% chance of this being true at all, because it would make no sense and satisfy no one. So if you're okay with me potentially spoiling something I don't think will happen, then
I think I have a list from last episode of all the people who I saw were going to be in it. So
yeah, okay.
Go ahead, shoot.
Because I think someone, I saw something. It was Tom Cruise. There's speculation that Tom Cruise will appear as like a multiverse version of Iron Man.
Yeah,
Iron Man.
And then
it's
John Krasinski as Captain America.
I have not seen that with either of them. It's like, why that that would satisfy nobody at all in the same way that like, everyone appearing as Spider-Man or like other like people who've had those roles before and are getting to reprise them, like that satisfies a lot of people. Random actors playing like characters we're not really invested in,
and
like their versions, like what's the point?
it was what's her name? John Krasinski's wife. I can't remember her name. She has like a great career too.
Emma Stone? That can't be right.
Not Emma Stone. No. I really needed
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt.
Is that right? Is that closer?
Yes. Emily Blunt. Yeah? No, that's who it is.
Is that right? Okay.
Apparently, and then I also thought she might be in it as Black Widow. This is from months and months ago.
Okay. Okay.
Those 3 people all auditioned for those roles. So it'd be like if they had gotten those roles, this is a universe that we'd be in or whatever.
Interesting.
Again, it's kind of like
Yeah, I can kind of see it, but it's like that there'd be no big reaction at all whenever they came on screen or like whenever they were on. It's like, okay, here's a version of Iron Man we care less about. Unless it's like a quick flash or something, but that's getting a lot of like high talent for like
nothing,
no involvement.
Yeah.
So
I really want.
I don't know.
Deadpool to just fall through a portal and into the MCU. That's it. That's all I want to see from this movie. If Deadpool that would be really funny. Through a portal and it's just in the MCU now, I'm good.
Okay. The funniest thing I think possible is if Doctor Strange is at one point just opening a bunch of different portals between like different dimensions or whatever, they just are open. Just in the background, we see like Deadpool walk out of one portal and into another one, and that's all we see, and he's just in the MCU.
That is all I need. I just really need Deadpool because we know that Deadpool 3 is going to be in the MCU.
Yeah.
We just don't know how he's going to get there. And if that's how he gets there, that's all I want. That's all I want. And then I want to, okay, no, take that back. Then I want a Team Red team up between him, Spider-Man, and Daredevil. But that's it. All I want is him to be in it for like literally a second, getting into the MCU.
Speaking of Daredevil, just a tiny extra bit of news here.
He's a good lawyer.
Yes, he's a very good lawyer. There's a lot of speculation, and like apparently there was someone involved in like Marvel who confirmed it. They were like, Daredevil is going to appear in a lot of stuff. Like moving onwards here. Like he won't have anything like solo to him, but he'll be like a supporting character in a lot of shows. So if that's true, that is incredible. Like because they've said his next appearance is in
She-Hulk.
But then he'll continue to appear in like a lot of shows after.
I like that because he has had his show, and he has his character established, and it's very, 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 very good show.
Yes.
I don't think Disney could do it as well as Netflix did. No. So just leaving that alone as kind of like a prequel or a precursor to his character and throwing him into anything they can almost feels more like the comic books than anything.
Yeah.
Feels right, and with an established character. And a lot more people are going to go back and watch those Netflix shows. Unfortunately, it's not going to earn Disney any money, but they'll at least be even more invested in this character and they'll watch more. So I think that's perfect for him. Also, I want Daredevil and everything anyway. So
yeah, I mean, I would absolutely love like solo projects for him and like all this. But honestly, even with that being like my desire, I think this outcome may be significantly better than him just having a solo project. If I get more Daredevil content like constantly,
right.
That's superb.
I hope he and Moon Knight get to beat some people up in the Moon Knight show.
Yes, seeing him in Moon Knight, like
so cool.
Like I have no idea if he will be in Moon Knight or not. I haven't seen anything about that, but like
me neither. I
would love him in Moon Knight. Yeah.
And you know what? Honestly, it would make sense to insert him into Spider-Man 4.
Yeah.
Because no one knows who Peter is. And if they met each other fighting crime.
Please have Kingpin had survived. And then have Kingpin be the villain
of Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 4. And then have him and Daredevil team up. That would be a movie for my dreams.
If anyone from Sony's listening, and you happen to like this idea and you want to take it, you have to hire us to write it. It will be a chip roasting original script.
Okay, I am texting Mark Hamill right now to just have them get as kind of with mini pills as possible at Sony and Disney and all that. So
what if we both got like emails
hope he hears
tomorrow
back.
morning? It's just like, oh, guys, we really like, or not tomorrow morning. It'd be Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Or
No, it
whatever.
is tomorrow. They have like spy software installed in like all of our computers. Like, first of all, love the episode that hasn't been released yet. Next.
But anyway, so yeah, Daredevil. More Daredevil would be spectacular. Anyway, speaking of,
I'm still in
okay,
shock.
I can't do it.
Got him in Spider-Man.
I've watched that scene a lot.
Yeah. Speaking of a character we thought would never come back, and then
There you go.
did come back.
You figured out what I was trying to do. I couldn't do it. There you go. Book of Boba Fett.
Book of Bobba Fett. Yes.
Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Book of
Which-
Boba Fett.
Honestly, I feel like is a very misleading title. It's a TV show.
Well, you know what's funny? I have a book up here. It's called The Show of Fennec Shand.
Oh, really? Wow.
Anyway, I need a Fennec Shand pop figure so I can put her up with the other
Yeah.
my other favorite. They're all, two of them are Star Wars girls. One of them is a Marvel. Anyway, Pokemon Go. So Book of
Pokemon
Boba
Go.
Fett. First off, real quick,
Yeah.
before we recap, what are you thinking
I'm-
so far?
I have mixed feelings about this show,
Yeah.
honestly. And like, I've never been as big into Star Wars as into Marvel and all that. I mean, I really do like Star Wars. I
Me
have
neither.
a lot of Star Wars knowledge. I somehow doubt that's true.
For anyone listening, I have a bookcase behind me. It's full of Star Wars books.
Yes. Like, I mean, like, I've watched every Star Wars show that has been out. Not all of each of the shows, but like I've
That's
watched
false.
at least some element of each of the shows.
It's
What do you
false.
mean that's false?
You've not watched Resistance. That's okay. Most people haven't.
Yeah.
Most people haven't watched Resistance.
Okay, I've watched.
It's okay. No, you're good. You've watched.
Most
Oh, you've
shows.
watched all. You've watched all.
Yes.
Resistance
I-
is there.
I've watched all of every show except for the animated Clone Wars. I've watched parts of the animated Clone Wars, but I haven't seen like the whole thing. I watched
Oh, the
like
original one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the original one.
2003 one.
Yeah, but I've seen
I haven't seen that
everything
yet.
else. I love Star Wars. At Disney World, I love Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
But like I've never been like as passionate or riled up as like about Star Wars things. So like the Book of Boba Fett, I'm not sure how like hardcore Star Wars fans feel about it, because I feel like there's a lot in it for them. There have been parts I've really enjoyed, but it's not as interesting to me as like I hoped. Like even I like the Mandalorian more, I think,
Mhm.
than the Book of Boba Fett. And I'm not sure why. Unless it's maybe the Mandalorian is just more of like an adventure show, and Boba Fett is more of like a crime show.
So,
But it's not even really a crime show.
as someone who's never really cared about Boba Fett all that
Yeah.
much, because like in the original, because like I just started watching Star Wars like 2 years ago. Like, let's be honest. Like I saw it
Yeah,
right before the pandemic started.
I
in
always forget that.
2020.
I
I mean,
always forget that.
I've read over 20 books. You would think that I would have been in it for my entire life. No, I refused to watch it until
Oh,
the
man.
very beginning of 2020, because my roommate was like, "Dude, you have to watch it." I was like, "Fine,
That's
I'll watch
insane.
it." But and then I went through Marvel phase. I was really obsessed with Marvel, and then I moved to Star Wars, and I've been there since.
Sure.
I had never really got the hype about Boba Fett because he was there for what, 10 minutes of screen time in Return of the Jedi, not Return of the Jedi. Well, yeah. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Like, I just
And-
didn't care about him.
And introduced in the Star Wars Holiday Special. Never forget that. Never
Yeah, but we
forget
didn't
his
watch that till
first
last year. We didn't,
canonical appearance was in the Star Wars Holiday Special. He was introduced in that show.
You're right. You're right.
Insane. I
That
ugh.
Ugh.
love that fact. I love that because everyone like loves Boba Fett, and it's like for first appearance, the thing that nobody has ever watched
because
nor
they've
should
never gotten
watch.
to it. They
Yeah,
get they because that's like near the
exactly.
end,
Exactly.
at least in the middle. But
Yeah.
but I never understood what the hype of the book, the Boba Fett and stuff like that. So like going into the show, I was like cautiously optimistic because I do like non-Jedi stuff more than I like Jedi stuff, and that's
Cool.
thanks to the books. That's 100% why.
Yeah.
Because I read like there's so little about the Jedi in the books except the High Republic and a few other books, but I haven't read them.
All right.
And so I was like, all right, I'll give this show a shot. I didn't like the first episode that much.
Yeah, the same.
I really, really, really liked the second episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, but caveat, I was in and out of sleep during the first episode, so I really don't remember the first episode because I woke up at 3 a.m. to see if it was worth it. Because I when I watched The Mandalorian, every single episode, I woke up at 3 a.m. for it. Then again, wasn't working back then, so
yeah,
a little easier to do that back then.
And I will say, with the series, I think one of the things that's kind of like making it math for me is the flashbacks. Because in watching it, I really, really, really enjoy the stuff where it's like him present day trying to like establish whatever. But like the flashback things, especially of like the first episode, I didn't really like. It was cool to get to see him like emerge from like the Sarlacc pit or whatever.
Sarlacc.
Yeah, lack.
Yeah.
Pit. But like after that, it's just kind of like him not being the Boba Fett that we know. It's just kind of him being like essentially held captive because he was almost dead and he doesn't have any of this stuff. And like I know that like Boba Fett fans are super excited to finally see like the canonical like everything that like happened to him. But for the show, I really feel like it does the show a disservice to just go back and forth between each of those.
Well, I think
because for me, it's like I just I really do enjoy the half where it's like him in present day trying to establish his empire. Like all of those scenes, all those scenes like I really like when you have like a half-hour show and then you have like 15 minutes of flashbacks and 15 minutes of like present day. That means that I'm only getting 15 minutes a week of like stuff that I'm like, yeah, that's neat.
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that with the way it was advertised. It was advertised as, it's mostly going to focus on what's happening to Boba Fett now.
Exactly.
Whereas it didn't really even touch on, we're going to show you how Boba Fett got to where he is right now. Yeah. And I get that. I actually like, especially with the second episode, how because they're really showing how he got to where we saw him in The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And I thought the way they went into the Tusken Raiders, or not even the Tusken people, was really, really cool. I really like that we got a look at their culture. Because originally, if I remember correctly reading it, there was supposed to be like they're the Tusken Raiders. They were kind of, it was obviously things were different back then, but it was supposed to be like the Tusken Raiders were supposed to be like the natives, the Native Americans. They were coming off as, trying to tread lightly here, savages, but now as a culture, we've shifted away from that. We know that's not true. We know that Native American, me myself being indigenous, we know that that's not true, that they were not. And so now they're giving them a background like, okay, these really are, this interesting culture that has their own not habits, what's the word, their own ceremonies and stuff like that. And I thought that was a really, really awesome aspect of the second episode.
Oh yeah, and like, do not get me wrong, like I really loved that part, getting to see like, because in The Mandalorian, I think The Mandalorian was the first like Star Wars thing that like did that well, is like showed like, hey, these are people that can be communicated with, and not just things that blindly attack that you're supposed to attack back. Like I mean, even when like Star Wars Episode 2, where the Tusken Raiders like have Anakin's mom, and Anakin's mom dies, and Anakin like just slaughters all of them, which was them, right?
Yeah. Those are Tuskens.
Yeah, and it's like that's kind of just like all that's like actually the most recent we've seen them in the movies was Episode 2, right?
Yeah, because we didn't see them in 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah,
so like, did they even like? It was the very end they were even on. the planet
Yeah.
Tatooine.
Yeah. So just like seeing them in live action in the Mandalorian being treated as like
Equals.
as like an actual like race in Star Wars was like it was super neat. I liked seeing that being explored more, but like I just wish that they had marketed this show more as that, if that was the direction that like they wanted to go in, because I do think that you're right, and like it was advertised very heavily, almost exclusively, as Boba Fett is creating a crime empire. Watch this, but like half of it, if not more, is just like the backstory.
I think we're running in, or at least you are. We're running into the issue with people, who are expecting that, like you. The same thing that happened with WandaVision, where they advertised it as this thing that was giving homages, and then it ended up only being partially that.
Yeah.
Or like the first half, really only like the first half of the season was that, and then everything else after that was like they had it, but it wasn't the main important part.
Just weird Boba Fett, because I don't think I've ever seen a show before that's been so heavy into flashbacks, like just really long, uninterrupted flashbacks. Where like I honestly think that I would like it more if the flashbacks were interrupted a lot more with present day. But it's when you're watching like this, it's difficult to even say it takes place in present day, just because like there are so many uninterrupted flashbacks.
Right. And
like, I wish they either like started off the series as like just the flashbacks only, like starting it off, or like even having him like sit down in the chair in the Mandalorian, that very end scene, and then saying like 2 years ago or 1 year ago or however long it was, and just having it be like solid episodes of flashback only, and then building up to there, instead of just this weird thing where it's like half and half, and it's like you don't know.
So kind of like what the first 3 episodes of WandaVision did, where it's just homages, and then the fourth episode we got the outside, and then it was half homage, half the real world.
Just something
like
where like
flashbacks, and then now, and then just kind of a back and forth between the two.
Yeah, like all I know is I really don't like how like it seems to be more flashback than present day. Like the first episode, it definitely did. I'm not sure about the second episode. The second episode, I felt it was a little more evenly balanced. No,
I think it was like 10 minutes of current, and then like everything else was flashback.
Yeah, because like I really like the current day, like seeing the Hutts live action again, like different Hutts. That was so cool.
Okay, do you know who that Wookiee was?
No, but the Wookiee was very cool. I don't know.
He is from
anything else.
He is from the 2015 Darth Vader run, which is the only comic run from Star Wars I've read all the way through.
Yeah,
or the current canon one. And his name is Black Chrysanthemum, and he is epic. He's actually fought. Actually, I have the comic where it happened, so I'll actually lend it to you if you ever, when I see you next.
Sure.
I just bought it because I caught up to where that book was, and I just happened to find that book. He fights Chewbacca, I think.
Oh,
at one point. And I think he does in the War of the Bounty Hunters as well. I think that's like a cover of Black Chrysanthemum versus Chewbacca. But like he is menacing, and when I saw him, I had the same reactions I saw when I saw Daredevil. Because like I said, I'd read the comics, so I was like, when Black Chrysanthemum comes out, I was like, oh my god, it's Black Chrysanthemum. It was a cool payoff to like see comic book characters, and as we move on, we'll probably see book characters as well. It was a cool payoff to see. Well, we are, because Thrawn is almost exclusively in the books. So people who've kind of gone out and saw like extra universe stuff are kind of getting payoff for reading that kind of stuff. So that was cool to see him.
Like I really love getting to see Boba Fett just interacting with everybody, meeting all these characters that like, I mean, I did not even know that was a well-established character, but knowing that now, it's just like, that's like so cool. And I just wish, because like the flashbacks by their very nature cannot have hardly any of that, because it's just Boba Fett interacting with the Tusken Raiders, and there's like almost no dialogue because they don't speak the same way. So it's not as engaging to me personally. Like obviously, I'm not saying that just because it's not engaging me, they shouldn't have it, because I know I'm not like a hardcore like Boba Fett fan,
Right.
but like I just was not expecting this. Like stuff with the Batman, there's a lot of information out about it now because they've given us trailers and like the Riddler, we know what he looks like. So like I can say like, hey, not as interested in this, but like with Boba Fett, just like having them not advertise the flashback thing as heavily when it's over half of their episodes. It's just
hard to get into it.
Yeah. And especially because like, especially if the episodes keep going like this and flashbacks are always more than half.
I think
like,
they'll dial back on them a little bit as we move on.
But the thing is, like, if they dial back, why could they have not just like not had them as heavy in the first couple episodes? So we'll have to see how it goes. But like right now, like I am like with episode 2, I'm enjoying it a lot more, but just so many flashbacks.
Right.
Like every other aspect, I really like. Just the flashbacks are what like bugs me.
Did you recognize the people who were on the train in the second episode? From something else. They've been in another Star Wars movie. They've actually been in a Star Wars movie and shows.
Yeah, like I was like looking at them. I was like, wait, were they the people that end of the Clone Wars that kidnapped Ahsoka and them? Was that them or those other ones?
They're not the slavers.
No, they were like the spice guys.
It's the Pikes. They were the ones who
Pikes?
killed. They were the ones who killed. Not Han's droid.
It was in
Lando's droid.
It was in the very last season of the Clone Wars when like Ahsoka was with the two other people.
The Martez sisters. Yeah, that's them.
It was
them.
Pikes. Okay.
Yeah, they were also in Solo.
And I was not 100% sure if it was supposed to be the same ones or not.
Their live action version is weird compared to the animated version. But
because I feel like the animated version was like taller. Or whatever than they were.
But they're also in Solo. Remember?
Oh, all right.
That's when L2SO, is that her name? The droid, Lando's droid. I've only seen it
once, and I don't remember.
But yeah, they were in that. It took me a second, like I know who those are, and I've seen them before, and I looked it up. And like, the Pikes. So yeah, we've gotten a couple callbacks already. They've established characters and character groups.
That was probably my favorite part of the flashbacks, just because again there were other things to interact with, not just like the Tusken Raiders.
I thought
just like how they can't talk. Like there's nothing for me. It's basically just watching it
noises
on like mute, like because like I mean like I like a lot of it, but like it's so uninterrupted. If they just like interrupted the bits, it wouldn't be as focused on the Tusken Raiders. So like a lot of the stuff we know about them, we probably would not have as much. But like, it's just hard for you to sit there and just it kind of feels like the same stuff over and over and over and over and over.
Right.
And the background too being sand. The background being all sand
for miles. It's just
my god. It's just because there's nothing that's like auditorily interesting or like visually.
It's sand and silence.
And it's not interrupted. Yeah.
Which is the name of this episode now. I did like at the end.
am liking the series as a whole. Like I'm liking a lot of the parts we get. I just wish it was more. Wish a lot of the on-screen stuff was more engaging. I can't say the audience because again, I don't know what hardcore Star Wars fans think about all of this, but just
they're loving it, and I didn't. Which is because okay. I did not like the first episode.
I'm in the wrong then.
No, it's okay.
I am okay with being in the wrong. It's not supposed to be us being right. It's supposed to be just us blabbing on about shows. So we're doing that well. But
no, it's okay because I didn't like it either. And I know RJ wanted to be on this podcast, but he didn't get home until he's not actually. I don't think he's home still yet.
Oh dang!
But because he just started a job or whatever.
Oh,
he wanted to be on because he had a lot to say about the first episode.
RJ, so hopefully, if you're listening, congratulations, man.
Yes. And if you are listening, then you've seen Spider-Man No Way Home because the first half of this was heavily spoiled.
Oh, yeah. RJ, spoiler alert for Spider-Man No Way Home. Hope you just skipped to this point or randomly. Do not rewind, please.
But he said he had a lot to say about the first episode. Maybe we'll have him on next time. But I'm very interested to see where this show's going. I remember I think it was back in June, we got rumors about like the episode names. They were so wrong.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
dang.
So but it
Wow.
is what it is. Um I wish I had more to say about the first episode, but I don't remember it.
The first episode, like I like the part in the first episode where like everyone was like making, what's the word, like offerings, but not
Oh
not
yeah.
offerings.
That's right.
And then like
When
the
they're all
mayor's
introducing
person
themselves.
came and is like, oh, I thought we were giving the mayor, and it's like, oh no, you're coming from me, and they're like, okay, what's your offering? And they're like, oh no, you're giving me an offering. And Boba Fett's like, no. Like I really like the dynamic with the mayor. That is fantastic. I wish it was
The
explored more. It
authorian,
feels
yeah.
weird that there's been 2 episodes and we've only like briefly seen the mayor, and that's it. Like, what if they're going to drag this out as long as they possibly can?
No, I think the flashbacks become like I said, become less prevalent, and like we'll get more of the now. I don't know. We'll see. I like the Camino flashback in episode 1.
That was cool.
Maybe
That
we'll
was
get to
cool.
see
I would,
Camino. I don't. Clearly,
yeah,
he gets on his ship at some point because
it
he
would
does
be
the
neat to see what it
ads.
looks like now, because again, in the Bad
Water.
Batch, we saw it like destroyed. So
Water.
it's gonna be all water. Like, unless they built something back there, I don't know what it's going to be like. But it was really funny seeing like Tatooine and then a flashback to Camino, like the two most opposite planets that you can have. No
What?
water, all water.
Well, it was confirmed in the second episode that Tatooine once was
Yeah,
like forested and had
yeah,
giant oceans,
yeah.
which I
It
thought was
used
really cool.
yeah, it used to have it. Doesn't have that now.
No, you're right. They're very opposite now.
It would be really neat if like they had like some show or whatever that takes place like after Star Wars Episode 9 or like around Star Wars Episode 9, and they just go to Camino and it's all sand. It just all dried up.
That would be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, so I like that part of episode 1. I don't think a whole lot of other stuff happened in
the action sequence
the present.
with the shields, the people with the shields, that was cool. Fennec Shand is a badass.
Mm-hmm.
She's awesome, and
neat.
I like to see her like her origin a little bit in the Bad Batch. That was cool. Maybe we'll see more of her, but I think they're really leaning into Fennec Shand as someone who's we're gonna watch her rise, and then whatever she plans on doing now, which I think is cool.
Yeah, and I like because she's basically playing like a very similar character to who she played in Marvel's Agents of Shield.
Oh, I didn't know she was in Agents of Shield.
That's cool. Yeah. She was like one of the main characters in Agents of Shield.
Ming-Na Wen, I believe is her name. Yes.
Sure.
Ming-Na Wen. She's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She is fantastic. But yeah, and then he's wounded a lot. Like he has to heal.
Yes,
a lot, which I like. I really think that's a neat touch because, like, he's super powerful and skilled and like everything, but he's also very hurt from being eaten alive and then been in the sand for a while.
Yeah,
so
a lot of people were mad about that because they're
really?
It's like because apparently like people like from people who read like Legends, which is what it's called now, or like stuff that happened before the Disney bought everything. Apparently, Boba Fett was like this badass who like no one could kill and super OP. Like everyone in Legends is OP. Like Luke Scott, apparently like Luke or no, Star Killer, which is a character, not the planet. Or he could like pull the big. What are the big ships called? From the Empire. Yeah, he could pull like a Star Destroyer out of the sky.
Nice.
Or like pull it like he did like what Thanos would do and like pull a moon out of the sky.
With the moon,
that's too OP in my opinion. I hate OP characters, but like apparently Boba Fett was OP in Legends and whatnot, or people made him. There people
all right.
think he was, and so see him like weak. People are like, oh man, this is so dumb. Like, guys, he was eaten by like a fucking animal, and then he climbed out of it after he killed it, and then
I believe
dragged it from the sand.
Yeah, like I believe it's a nice, more realistic touch for him to have, especially because we just got the Mandalorian, who like is that kind of like more powerful character to see. So to see like, it wouldn't be as interesting, I think, if he was just the same as the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Which one thing I like is that he basically spends all the time with his helmet off, not something we're used to seeing at all.
Did
The Mandalorian was
you
always helmet on, and here it's helmet off.
did you see the New Yorker and their review of the Mandalorian of the
No.
Book of Boba Fett?
No.
Like the headline was Disney has forgotten something they learned with the Mandalorian. Mandalorians are always more interesting with their helmet on. And like you guys are missing the point of
Wait,
first off,
of all,
the Mandalorian.
he's not a Mandalorian. Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's that. First off, you missed the point of the Mandalorian, like the entirety of season 2.
Huh.
And you're missing the point of Boba Fett. You're right, he's not a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
His dad wasn't either. He's the foundling and decided not to take it on or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the history there, but
yeah. His dad was a Mandalorian, but like also the point of season 2 was that most Mandalorians don't have their helmets on.
Well, right, and that
yeah,
it was him becoming more vulnerable with Grogu and being comfortable to take his helmet off.
Yeah,
that's what made him so compelling in season 2. Anyway, the reviews that the critics had were so cringy and so awful. They were such bad takes.
Like, like with the whole thing about critics being able to review movies, that's fine if it's like standalone films. When you have something that's like in a franchise, the only critics that can really be qualified to review it is ones who like have Star Wars like knowledge. Because if you go into it blindly, like there should absolutely be for just like it's like the visuals, the art, like the dialogue. Even there should be like independent critics of that with like the story. If it ties into a broader universe, you need to have that knowledge in order to like be critical of it, because if you don't, you're going to make mistakes.
Right. They definitely came off as it definitely came off as someone who'd only watched The Mandalorian, and that's fine. If that's all the Star Wars you've consumed, that is perfectly okay. It's a great show.
Yeah, that's fine.
And if that's all you ever want to watch, that's fine.
You don't have to watch Star Wars, but if you're going to talk about like, why Star Wars did this is good, or why Star Wars doing this is bad, you need to have the broader knowledge of what all those things mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a lot of Star Wars creators reacting to that. It's like, wow, you're really fucking dumb. But
the other part of episode 2 I liked a whole lot was like how Boba Fett is really distinguishing himself from Jabba and all of them. Like when the one dude who was like, I won't reveal who hired me, and then Fennec was like, let's put them in the what's the name of that?
The Rancor.
Yeah, the Rancor pit. And then they go in and I was like, that is super cool, because we haven't seen that since episode 6, I think, right? Or was there an animated one of it? There may have been like a
Bad Batch is a
Rebels
Rancor.
one, or
remember
or Bad Batch. Yeah, we didn't get the Rancor in there. But like, it was really cool to see live action again. The exact thing we saw in episode 6.
Yeah,
like, knowing the Rancor and everything. This dude apparently knew of the Rancor too, because he was like, stop, whatever. And then like the door opened. I was like, are you gonna have the Rancor still be in there, whatever? But then it was like, oh no, we're not gonna. It's not there.
It's empty. Yeah.
Boba Fett is not Jabba the Hutt. He wouldn't like do that. It's like, that's super cool.
I think they've definitely opened it up for a really cool bad guy as the Hutts, with the other two Hutts coming, or the cousins of Jabba coming in, and you can really, and like you'll see who's. I'm imagining they're the ones who hired the guys who tried to kill them. Maybe not. Or literally, it could be anyone. It's Star Wars.
Yeah, because the dude said it was like the mayor who hired them, but then the mayor said no, it wasn't me. They also said you should go out here or whatever and see whatever, and the Hutts were there. So what I'm thinking is that the Hutts are working with the mayor. So we'll see. Only time will tell. I just wish that it was more time of the story and less time of flashbacks.
Yeah,
I haven't said that before.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. I'm excited to see where it's going from here, especially with Black Chrysanthemum. Maybe they'll even have more of the other bounty hunters that we've seen in the which Black Chrysanthemum's the bounty hunter.
I hope that he has more action stuff and isn't just a figure piece for them to have. Like, I'm assuming that with the backstory you've said, there's no way that Disney would not use him for action.
Oh, he's so cool. I
that's
love
so
Black
cool.
Chrysanthemum. He was so
Okay,
cool.
okay.
And just in the
Okay.
one bit I've read, he was awesome. So, we'll see about that moving forward.
Sweet.
But this is the first time I think we've reviewed comprehensively a show without going through every single scene.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I could go through every single scene if I wanted to, because I don't really remember a whole lot from like the flashback
Sand.
areas. Yeah, just sand. Oh no, we just went through 2/3 of the show in one word.
How many episodes are there? Are there 8? There's a 10. I don't remember.
I'm not sure. I honestly kind of don't want to even know how many episodes there are.
Okay.
Just to kind of keep my mind free of like how far along we were in the series. I mean, you can say it on here if like you want to. Like, I won't mind having that knowledge, but
I think it's 8. I'm not gonna look it up, but I think it's 8.
All right.
So we're about a fourth of the way through. But I'm excited to see where it goes. Hopefully it gets better. There's a big jump for me from 1 to 2. So I might go back and rewatch 1 because RJ was like, you have to rewatch it. It's really good. I'm like, all right, fine, I will. But I think is there anything else you wanted to add?
I don't think so.
It's a pretty short episode.
We wrapped this up pretty quickly, which is good for me because I need to skedaddle. But I mean, yeah.
Real quick before we go, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, which is Tuesday night, if not, you're listening to it on Wednesday. On Wednesday at 8 p.m., brand new Wolf Gator Entertainment show called Nameless to Kind of Famous will premiere 8 p.m. Brennan's an executive producer, and by that I mean I literally threw Not Brennan on the credits.
Yeah.
But
so I hope it's good.
But we interview with my friend Clint Bartlett, who's got like 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh, hey.
Over 100,000 on TikTok and like 500 subscribers on YouTube. So yeah, he's my first interview, and I haven't booked my second one, and I'm starting to get scared. So check that out on the Wednesday on Wednesday the 12th at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plug real quick. Go subscribe to Brennan. Maybe he'll eventually post something.
Yeah, maybe eventually I get to 500 subs.
Or
not
post a video
until I reach 500 subs.
Go subscribe to Wolf Gator Entertainment.
Hopefully
on YouTube.
I'll post something. I'm hoping to post something in May. So I have 4 months. Let's see if I can do it.
And then go follow us on Instagram at Wolf. Nope, that's the old one at Chip
Roasting something, right? Or is it just
just at Chip Roasting? I managed to get at Chip Roasting because really, who else is going to use that as a handle on Instagram?
True. So yeah, follow all of us. Follow. Yep.
Leave a review, please. I want a review. Now you can do it on Spotify, so do it.
Yeah, smash that review button.
Rate us 5 stars while you're at it.
Yeah, unless 5 stars is the smallest amount of stars, in which case don't rate us 5 stars. Rate us whatever the highest amount of stars is, unless they don't use stars. Rate us the highest number of the symbol that they use.
Yeah, just rate us highly.
Yes, please.
All right, everyone.
Please.
Peace out.
We need this. Peace.